What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at American Wedding, the third installment into the American Pie franchise. American Wedding is this. Jim and Michelle decide to get married and fun mischief ensues. Alright, that's the overall story of American Wedding. Let's talk about it. Now, I think as an overall third movie, American Wedding is actually pretty good. I like American Wedding. I've always liked American Wedding. I always found this movie to be very, very funny. I don't think it's as strong as per se the first two movies, which I think are much better than American Wedding. But I think American Wedding does have a lot of good things in it, and personally speaking, it does have a lot of funny bits that I really do enjoy, and I do really think that they are some of the best gags in the entire franchise as a whole. I just think American Wedding has certain things that I just don't care for personally. So, without any further ado, let's talk about the third American Pie movie. So, from a cast standpoint, all the originals make their return. Jim, Kevin, Finch, and Stifler, they all make their return. But characters like Oz and Heather are not in this movie. Chris Klein did not appear as Oz in this movie, which I thought was a mistake. Oz, the character, he should have been in this movie, or at least come in at near the end during the wedding. There's no Oz is not in this movie, and there's actually no mention as to where Oz is, and as to why Oz is not as to, and also as to why Oz is not present during the events of the film. Like his presence really is missing, and I think you could have done some interesting things with Oz, with the wedding, with Oz and the wedding as a whole in general. Like there's some missed opportunities with his character not being here. But we do get the old stalwarts. Like I said, Jim isn't Jim. We get Jim, we get Finch, we get Kevin, and we get Stifler, and as we have those four, and they make up for the missing link that is Oz. And as usual, the four of them put on fantastic performances. I, to me personally, American Wedding to me is pretty much the pinnacle of Stifler as a character. I think some of Stifler's most funniest bits and most funniest lines are in American Wedding. Sean William Scott is hilarious in this movie. He's funny in the first two movies, but in this one, American Wedding to me is kind of like a Stifler showpiece because even though Jim and Michelle take up with the wedding, this movie also does a lot of more development for Stifler as a character, and we actually get to see him develop more of a character. We actually get to see Stifler explore a different side to himself. Like we see Stifler actually start to put people before him in a way, which leads to the wedding. Of course, he does do it at first for his own selfish reasons because he wants to bang Cadence, who is Michelle's sister, played by January Jones. But after one thing leads to another, and Stifler accidentally almost sabotages the wedding, it kind of he changes. I mean, he's still the same old Stifler that we all know and love, but an extra layer is added to him. Like he actually starts to show a more compassionate and more caring side of him that he's always had, but this movie actually brings it out of him. And I thought Sean William Scott did a great job at still keeping Stifler as Stifler, but also showing the more tender side to Stifler's personality as well. That's why I feel like this is probably one of the best showcases for the Stifler character because his character gets more development, and you actually get to see, and he gets explored more a little bit with the development of the person, with the development of his character. I thought that was good stuff, very good stuff, very good stuff. January Jones, who plays Cadence, I thought she was fine. She's kind of the weakest link in this movie. Cadence as a character, she's pretty much in a tug of war between Finch and Stifler, and honestly, truthfully, I really don't know why they're so into Cadence because, personally speaking, Cadence doesn't really do much as a character, and as a character, she's kind of bland, and it kind of makes me wonder why they're so obsessed with this woman. Is it because she's beautiful? Okay, but maybe it has to be more. Like the movie hints that she has an intelligence to her, but we don't really see her do anything intelligent-wise, or have any conversations that mean anything. She's just there to be eye candy and to further the rivalry between Finch and Stifler, which is hysterical in their game of one-upmanships, which sees Stifler act like a polite guy and sees Finch act like Stifler. The role reversal is really really funny, and that is some of the best stuff in this movie. Eddie K. Thomas and Sean William Scott, they just have really good chemistry as being these rivals. Like they fit their roles like a glove. They're so good. Thomas Ian Nicholas as Kevin. Kevin doesn't do anything in this movie. Like he barely does a thing. Like Kevin is really just there for set decoration. That's another reason why I think this movie needed the Oz character, because at least if you had Kevin and Oz, they could have done some more things, especially when you get to the bachelor party scene. But other than that, Kevin is just like there, just hanging out, just saying random, just will just say something here and there. But at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't do anything. Kevin's kind of underutilized. Like Kevin is the Kevin character is extremely underutilized when you compare him to the first two movies. Eugene Levy once again returns as Jim Dad, and as usual, Eugene Levy is really funny as the character. He has a lot of good moments with Jim, and he also has a nice little moment with Michelle as well, where she's trying to figure out how to write her vows. And as usual, Eugene Levy is just he. I love that humor he just brings to Jim's dad. He's like that father who who tries not to have those awkward talks, but it always ends up being awkward. And Eugene Levy is the king at that. The actors who play Michelle's parents, I thought they were fine in their roles as well. The whole subplot of Jim trying to impress them is actually really funny, which is what leads to this bachelor party where Stifler goes all out, and then but they unknowingly don't realize that Jim is also planning a dinner party as well. So that stuff is hilarious, and I thought the bachelor party scene was actually pretty cool. Though I think the best scene in this entire movie is the gay club scene where Stifler has a dance off with this other character named Bear. The dance off scene in this movie is hilarious. It's hysterical, and it's one of my favorite bits of the entire franchise. Good stuff. And the bachelor party scene is also good to itself as well. Um, and then when the characters finally get to the wedding and the area and the hotel the wedding is, you get the infamous Jim shaves himself, which is I think that scene is kind of dumb. Of all the things that Jim has done to himself, like I don't know, super gluing himself to himself, dancing on the internet, him shaving himself is kind of just it's kind of stupid. Like you would have figured he would have grew out of these stupid things by now. I think this was an unnecessary gag for Jim to do. I didn't really find it funny. Maybe as a kid I used to find it funny, but watching it now, it's like the shaving scene is not as funny as I remembered it being. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of dumb. Like it really is kind of dumb. I'm not a big fan of the shaving scene now. It's weak. It's a weak scene. The whole thing with Jim's grandmother not approving of Michelle, and then Stifler accidentally having sex with her in the broom closet, thinking it's Cadence. Again, it's okay. It's a cheap gag, but it's whatever. It's whatever. It really is whatever. This is where I mean. It didn't really care for it, but I do like the whole ending with the wedding and everything like that, and seeing these characters, developments come full circle in a way. I thought that was pretty nice. And once again, Finch finds himself once again banging Stifler's mom, and we have the MILF guys doing their famous chant near the end of the movie. So I like that. I like the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie is cool, and parts of the movie is also really good as well. Uh, yeah, those are overall my thoughts on American Wedding. I still enjoy this movie. I think it is pretty good, and I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Not as good as the first two movies, but still a good third entry into this franchise as a whole. So yeah, those are my thoughts on American Wedding. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.